This is a demonstration on how to braid loaves of bread for, braided loaves. It's a way to make it look fancier. And I'm going to show first a 3 braid loaf. I'm making 2 today. I'm going to show you a 3-strand braid and then a 2-strand braid. I'm going to start with 3. I've already divided out the dough. The most important thing is to make sure that all of the portions of dough, however many there are, weigh the same. And these do. They're a little over 10 ounces each. So now we roll it out so that it is a long, thin strand. Do it again to this one. To reflour the work surface. They're the same weight and get them the same length. And for a 3-strand loaf, you lay them all side by side like so. And you take the outer one, you take one of the outer ones and cross it over the middle. Then you take the other outer one and cross it over the new middle, like so. And this pattern repeats. And I just totally messed it up because I started at the wrong end. We're going to start over. Over, over, middle over the outside over middle, outside over middle, outside over middle, outside over middle, pinch the end together, outside over middle, outside over middle, outside over middle, pinch the end together. And this will rise up. When this rises, because it's going to rise for 2 hours, this is going to puff out and it'll look really neat. And that's that for a 3-strand loaf. And next we're going to do a 2-strand. And now, just for variety and to show you a different thing, we're going to do a 2-braid loaf. And these are 2 pieces of dough of equal weight. I am doing this with a knife and a scale, but that is a tedious process, and I'm sure you can figure it out on your own. I don't want to make you watch it. Just like before, we roll these out. Being larger, being two portions of the same weight of dough, they'll of course be larger. Roll them out into equal lengths. And you lay them across each other like this. You take the lower one and you cross it to each side. You take the upper one, you cross it to each side. And you repeat this until you have a braided loaf like so. You cross them, you take the piece that's underneath and cross it over, then you take the new piece that's now underneath and cross it over, and so forth and so on. Which winds you up with a braided loaf that looks about like this, and you pinch the ends together and voila. And I'll film again after these are risen so you can see what they look like right before they go in the oven. I figure while I'm on this baking project, I might as well also show you how to shape the classic classic French bread baguette shape. This is a large bit of dough. It's going to make 2 loaves. So I'm going to cut it in half here. Flour my hands to handle it without sticking. And I'm going to take 1/2. This is a very wet dough. It ate up all of the flour on the work surface. And it's sticking anyway. So the weight doesn't matter so much since this isn't being braided, so I'm not going to weigh it out. You take half the dough You pat it into you stretch and pat it into a rough rectangle shape, about 12 inches long. That'll be close enough. Now, you fold it like you would a letter. You take the bottom half and fold it to the middle, the top half and fold it over that, pinch the seam. Now, to get the classic torpedo shape, you gently rock the loaf back and forth until it gets to the desired length and pressure the ends in. And there you go. That's really all there is to it. And you put it seam side down on a floured pan, or in my case I use parchment paper because it's easy to transfer to the oven, and let it rise. And that's all there is to it. I'll do it again because I have another loaf here. Rough rectangle. Fold it in thirds. And rock it into the desired shape. And you lay these again to rise seam side down. And that is really all there is to shaping French bread. If I wanted to make these into baguettes, I would just keep rolling them out until they got really long and thin, but frankly my oven's not big enough for that, so this is all they're getting.
The country to
this is the challah after about an hour's rising. I apologize if I mispronounced that.
A million people to help promote.
So this is after about an hour's rising with the braided bread. On the right is the 3-strand, and on the left is the 2-strand braid. I've already brushed them with. I've already just applied the poppy and sesame seeds, and these will rise for about another hour before going in the oven.
People of Colombia today.
And this is what they look like after coming out of the oven. Again, on the right is the 3-braid loaf, and on the left is the 2-braid loaf, and that is the plain French bread I also made. I forgot to film scoring of it. I forgot to film the score, making the score marks, but that's easy. You just take a serrated knife, hold it at a 45-degree angle to the bread, and cut about 1/2 inch deep. And the purpose of that is to when the crust hardens, the inside of the bread still wants to expand. So the purpose of that is to let that happen without breaking the crust, as you can see happened here on the braided bread, which is not scored.